Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nick.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Top Notch Sports. Today, we're going to be going over the Buffalo Bills off-season salary review. Head coach Sean McDermott. I absolutely love this guy. Great head coach. Let's see what he can build on this year after losing in the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are just a dominant force to be reckoned with. And again, let's see what Sean McDermott can do. Salary review this year. Let's see how much salary cap they have, what moves they may be able to make, and so on and so forth. Again, they don't really have a lot, so we're just going to hop right into it and show you guys what they can potentially do this offseason. Let's hop right into it. Jackson, go ahead and explain this slide.
First things first, negative $7.5 million in the hole. Not going to get much done with that. Another thing I want to point out, remember you guys, green is you're cutting and you're saving cap. Red, you're cutting and you're losing some cap. And then yellow, I mean, you're just, nothing's happening there. This team had a really dominant season this year. I'm pretty sure they were 13-3, 12-4, something around that. Not quite sure. Offensive side of the ball, Josh Allen had an MVP caliber season. Stephon Diggs, he was acquired from the Minnesota Vikings last offseason, had an insane season, led the league in receiving yards and receptions, I'm pretty sure. John Brown's a solid piece, and Cole Beasley had a really solid season for this team. Solid offensive line, Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse, Cody Ford, pretty solid pieces from the offensive line for you guys. And then on the defense, Tre'Davious White, great cornerback for you guys. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, really good safety for you guys. Ed Oliver, you guys took him a couple drafts ago. I really love this Buffalo Bills team, especially with head coach Sean McDermott, and they were just right there. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Honestly, I expect them to be back there next year. A lot of people do. But let's see what this Buffalo Bills team does this offseason there.
Yep, so we're going to go right into the next slide shortly, the notable losses. But I do want to point out one thing. They were 13-3, by the way. But look, here's the thing. They're losing a few cornerbacks this offseason. Again, this is who is currently under contract. So these prices are who are currently under contract. So if you don't see a few names, that's why. Trey Adams, this guy right here, I don't think he's ever even played a snap. You're going to need to upgrade your right tackle position. You're losing a left guard right here in Ryan Bates. I think he's also a tackle, but you got nobody honestly currently under contract at the guard position, with John Feliciano going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason. And again, you got negative $7.5 million. So unless you make cuts, you're not going to be able to bring any of these guys back. So again, let us know who you would cut. But look, these guys, honestly, you could save a decent amount of money by cutting these players right here. AJ Klein, Mario Addison, Vernon Butler, Jerry Hughes, Tyler Makovich, however you say his name. Look, if you guys cut these guys, you could free up some money. But what's the point? If you cut Jerry Hughes, you're still at zero. You're not going to be able to bring anybody in. You cut Vernon Butler. Again, if you cut these two combined, you have $14 million you save. Now you're about around $6 million in positives, $7 million in positives. That's not enough to make a signing. So why are you going to cut two pieces when it's really not going to add up to anything in the long term? So let's hop right into the next slide, where we're going to show you the notable losses who's going to be in free agency this upcoming offseason. Go ahead, Jackson.
First things first, Josh Norman, cornerback. His expected deal is a 1-year, $5 million deal. He played 32.1% of the snaps. John Feliciano, left guard, right guard. Like you just mentioned, they won't be able to bring him back. His expected deal is 2 years, $7 million. He played 52.5% of the snaps. Brian Winters, right guard. His expected deal is a 1-year, $3 million deal. He played 56.6% of the snaps. Darrell Williams, another lineman for this team, right tackle. His expected deal is a big one, 3 years, $31.5 million. He played 96.3% of the snaps. Levi Wallace, cornerback. His expected deal is 2 years, $1.8 million. He played 57.1% of the team's snaps. Ike Bakhtiar, left guard. His expected deal is 1 year, $700,000. He played 57.2% of the team's offensive snaps. And Matt Milano, really solid linebacker for you guys. His expected deal is 2 years, $28 million. He played 67.8% of the team's defensive snaps.
And the thing that sucks is that really, honestly, like John Feliciano, you would love to bring him back. Winter's not, I mean, he's okay, but you would like to see some of these guys back. Darrell Williams, absolutely, right? And Matt Milano, you would like to bring back. But the problem is they're going to have to restructure a bunch of contracts, which we're not going to predict in this video. We can't predict how much money you're going to save and who's going to get restructured. That's something for another day. That's something, once they do it, we might make another video. But right now, where you guys are sitting at, you don't have a lot of money to bring these guys back, and that's the unfortunate part about it. So let's hop right into the next slide, where we're going to show you estimated cap space is negative $7.5 million. We're not going to have you cutting anybody because, again, to work out of this hole, you're only going to be positive a few $1,000,000, which is not worth cutting all those guys, all these players, if you're going to ultimately be positive 10, positive 7, positive $8 million. That's only enough to bring in one guy. You're not going to cut your entire team to able to bring in one guy. So right away, estimated signings, nobody. You can't re-sign nobody. You can't really sign nobody in free agency. So you're going to have to work through the draft. You're going to have to really nail the draft. So we're going to predict your first round pick here. Maybe draft all outside linebacker Nick Bolton from Missouri. He's a pretty good linebacker, really good run stuffer for you guys. He would be a nice solid piece to fill in. But let me go back here real fast one more time. You look at this team. I mean, you could potentially play around with it. Jerry Hughes had a really good year. Mario Addison had an okay year, but maybe you move on from Mario Addison, right? That sounds possible. And maybe you use AJ Epinesa from last year's draft, who I wasn't a big fan of when I did my scouting analysis that I'm going to be doing in a few weeks from now. So stay tuned for that. I'll scout everybody for you guys, give you guys mock drafts and so on and so forth. But again, Maury, maybe you move on. You save $6.2 million. You're still in negative, so it's not worth it unless you cut him, you cut Butler, you cut Tyler, you cut AJ Klein. Now you're in the positives, but you're only positive $7-8 million. So it's not worth cutting all these pieces. It's truly not. I know a lot of people in the comment section are gonna be saying, "Oh, we should cut him. We should cut him. Oh, they're not good. This guy's not good." You can't, and I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm sorry. I had to go on a little rant, and it's not you Buffalo Bills fans. It's not you guys. It's been every other fan base that we've been covering. So you guys are all right. I love the Bills Mafia. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys are nuts. You guys are amazing. I love it. So here we go. So what are you going to have to do? Maybe draft outside linebacker Nick Bolton. He would definitely be a nice piece for you guys on Sean McDermott's defense. You're going to have to draft a guard. You're going to have to draft both guards, a tackle, maybe a running back. I would love to get you guys Najee Harris, who could come in here and be a stud for you guys right away. You guys got Devin Singletary. You got Zach Moss, who I wasn't a fan of last year either, but you drafted both of them. Maybe you guys will work on them again, see if they can pan out for you guys. They're not terrible. I just don't think that they're a workhorse. Defensive tackle, you should probably draft one, and a cornerback. You're going to have to draft one of them since you're losing Josh Norman and Levi Wallace. Again, after this free agency, your estimated rating cap is still negative $7.5 million because you're not making any cuts and you're not making any signings. Let's go on to the next slide. Here we go, Jackson. Explain them, the colors, and so on and so forth.
So first things first, the guy in the blue right there, Nick Bolton out of Missouri, really, really stud linebacker. He's the guy you guys are going to draft in the first round that we projected. Then the guys in yellow, there's a few of them: AJ Klein, Taron Johnson, Vernon Butler, Ryan Bates, and Trey Adams. Those guys are placeholders for you guys. Remember, we said we were going to draft pretty much every offensive line position: right guard, left guard, right tackle. Those guys are placeholders right now. We said we were going to draft a defensive tackle. So Vernon Butler, placeholder. Trey Adams, another placeholder. We said we're also going to draft a running back. So maybe Devin Singletary, you could say he's a placeholder for that guy you draft. Taron Johnson, another guy as a placeholder. Draft a cornerback, play him alongside Tre'Davious White, build up that nice little cornerback 1-2 punch. Again, this Buffalo Bills team, Bills Mafia, I love everything about this team. I love their fans. I love their coach. I love Josh Allen. This is a really, really good team, and they're going to compete for a long time. Now the Patriots are on the decline. This is their division now. This is their division. It's their time to win, and I expect that to happen with this team. They're going to win division titles. I mean, they were just in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I mean, beating that team is a tough task to do. Josh Allen, again, he had an MVP caliber season. I expect really, really good things for this Buffalo Bills team, and especially with Sean McDermott as their head coach.
Absolutely. And one more thing before we close out here. You look at this team, right? It's a really solid team. And I'm going to just go over my predictions for the players that they have. I mean, they brought in a bunch of players I absolutely love over the years of drafting. Ed Oliver. I loved Ed Oliver coming out of college. He's not really panning out the way I thought he was, but he's still a nice role piece. Let's see what he can do. Hopefully he can be that guy everyone expected him to be. Tre'Davious White, an absolutely amazing cornerback. I was all over him coming out of the draft. Really solid piece. I honestly think he may be the best cornerback in the league. I know you got Ramsey, I know, but this kid right here is a solid stud, and he's so young, and you can work around him. He's an absolute anchor on this defense. You look here, Josh Allen. This was my favorite quarterback coming out of the 2017, right? 2017 NFL draft or 18?
18.
2018 NFL draft. I was all over him. Josh Allen was the guy. Everyone was saying Darnold, no. Mayfield, no. Josh Rosen. No, it was Josh Allen. This is a guy I was all over. I said he had the most potential, and you clearly see it now. Look, you can teach mechanics, you can teach accuracy by fixing those mechanics, but one thing you cannot fix or teach is speed that he has, mobility, pocket awareness, and arm strength. And you can improve on it slightly, arm strength, but nobody can throw the ball like Josh Allen can. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what you guys do in this year's draft. But look, this is the truth. You're losing a lot of pieces. You got to build up this offensive line. You got to get a guard. You got to get a right tackle. I trust Cody Ford. I trust Mitch Morse. I trust Deion Dawkins to get it done, but you got to hit on two of these positions right here. You look at your defensive tackle position. Vernon Butler can get you guys by this year, but it would be nice to get a defensive tackle. I'm not even going to address the running back position because, again, it would be nice to have that running back, but if you're not going to get Najee Harris, you're not going to get Travis Etienne, you're going to probably rock out with Singletary and Zach Moss again. Taron Johnson, I don't know if you guys remember, but the pick six this guy had, I love this kid. He looked really good. I don't know. That's all I know about him, to be honest with you. I don't know much about him. I saw his speed. I saw how fast he can run that pick six back. Maybe he can pan out for you. But right now we're going to put him in yellow because we don't know much about him. You guys know more about him than we do. So let me know about Taron Johnson. A.J. Klein didn't have a great year this year. Maybe you guys like him, maybe not. But again, placeholder. And Nick Bolton could definitely lock down this defense, help your guys' linebacking core a lot. Let us know what you guys think. I absolutely love Sean McDermott. We'll be going over more of this team in the future in the free agency videos that we got coming up probably in a few weeks. And remember, we got our scouting analysis, mock drafts, everything on the way. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Top Notch Sports. We got a lot coming your way. Anything else, Jackson?
Bills Mafia, I love you guys. Just get pumped, man. This team's going to be good for a long time.
I do too, man. I always said if I was not a Raiders fan, I would love to be a part of Bills Mafia. I'm sorry. That's the truth. That's the truth. Guys, that's all I got for you. Signing off now, Nick and
Jackson.
That's all. Jackson, we are
Built better.
See you guys soon. Peace.